Welcome to Influential Entrepreneurs, bringing you interviews with elite business leaders and experts, sharing tips and strategies for elevating your business to the next level. Here's your host, Mike Saunders.
Hello and welcome to this episode of Influential Entrepreneurs. This is Mike Saunders, the Authority Positioning Coach, and today we have with us Francois Lupien, who is a coach, mentor, and speaker, and he's the founder of How to Become More. Francois, welcome to the program.
Hey, Mike, thank you so much for having me. It's a pleasure and an honor to be here.
Yeah, well, I'm looking forward to talking with you. And of course, I don't think anyone listening to this right now would say, nah, I don't want to become more. So I'm excited to hear how to become more and your life journey. Give us a little bit of background on yourself and then what led you to become a coach, mentor, and speaker.
Hi, it started when I was 18 years old, actually. I went to an Amway meeting, believe it or not, and this gentleman was earning $60 million a year.
Wow.
Let me tell you, when you're 18 years old, that blows your mind. And so one of the things that he said is that I never listen to the news. I don't read the newspapers with bad stories. I use my car as a university on wheel, and I always read a good book every month. I am now 60 years old. It's been 42 years. I have read over 450 books. I don't listen to the news. I don't listen to the newspaper. And the training that he has said was the following. Have you ever seen people who says, oh, this good thing is happening in my life, but I know it's not going to last, and then a catastrophe happened in their lives? I go, I know intimately someone that says that and does that. And then he said something that turned me around. Do you know that the opposite is true also? And then he expanded that you can create your reality by your mindset and the things that you focus on. Because what you focus on, you give energy to, and it'll come to pass. I have molded my life on this. And later on now I have 6 children, 4 grandchildren. Hopefully we can get some more. I have many businesses that I have built from scratch to many hundreds of thousands of dollars a year each. And my passion has been that when COVID hit, just before COVID hit, by applying the concepts that I do as far as mindset, I generated in 1 month what used to take me a year to generate. I was hooked. When COVID hit, I said, okay, now I need to let the people know more about it. I was doing this corporately before, but now I'm doing it on my own, and the results that we're getting with our clients are fantastic.
You know, you said something really powerful there, which, of course, we can unpack that one opening for about 3 more hours and still not scratch the surface. But you mentioned mindset, and I know that that is a very broad topic, but how do you translate mindset into a skill set and so into specific things that could be done? Because it sounds a little woo-woo to go, oh, just think positive, but what are some specifics?
Very good question. I appreciate that. Actually, I'm a national trainer for Tony Robbins. I work with him on stage, facilitated the big seminars that he did. And one of the things is there's an intricate balance in between skill set and mindset. Mindset, of course, is what's inside of you, what makes you do what you do. But the skill set, if you have no skills, no matter how much you want to do something, without any skills, your power is zero. So we need to have some skills or strategies that are in place, but unless we have the right mindset, we will be caught in the trap that I call the knowing-doing gap. You know it, but you don't do it. So the mindset is what enables you to take action on what you know.
It reminds me of the old saying, and I know you've heard this because you're a speaker, but, you know, knowledge is power. Well, people nod and smile. Oh, yeah, no, but it's not. Knowledge is only potential power, and in reality, it's not even as powerful as it used to be because anybody these days has any thing at their fingertips with their phone, with their computer. You know, knowledge is not as revered until you put it into action.
And I agree with that, Mike. You're hitting it right on the money with this. And I would say now that it's not necessarily knowledge, but actually it's results that is power now. People are interested in results. Doesn't matter how much you know. If you can't produce no results, basically you add no value. Therefore, you're a commodity. So definitely results is the name of the game. And unless you can make yourself create the results, and coming back to what you asked, the skills that you need to create the results are powered by your mindset.
Yeah. Okay, so here's a question. When people say, "Oh, Francois, just tell me what to do, and I want to be here, but I'm here, and here's this gap," and you lay out a plan for them, and then they tend to not do it. What is it that makes people realize, knowledge-wise, that yes, I need to do these things, but then they don't do them?
Excellent. I have a program that I created called The Cure, C-U-R-R-E, that addresses exactly what you're talking about. Number one, we need to get clarity. You need to know exactly what you want, and I mean really clear, and something that you really want. So then once you have a direction, because if you ask your GPS, you want to go somewhere, it's going to say, okay, where are you starting from? You need to have clarity on this. Number two, and that's where enables to bridge the knowing-doing gap, is we need to uncover your hidden challenges that are stopping you from taking action, such as we're turning the light in a dark room and all of a sudden the obstacles that you didn't know were there appear right in front of you. Then we go into the RR of C-U-R-R-E. The first R is remove and right away replace, meaning we need to remove the culprit, but right away replace it with something else that is going to be conducive to the direction that you want to head into. And finally, E for ingrain. We need to cement this in place so it doesn't revert back to your old ways. So clarify, uncover, remove and replace, and then ingrain ensures that the knowledge that you have is not hindered by your virus codes, doubts, and insecurities, and then we put them with habits and skill sets that are going to be cemented together so that every action that you take is focused in the direction of where you want to go. Does that make sense?
It does, and I love that RR, the remove and replace, because if you just remove something without replacing it with something more effective or better, then you fall back in your old habits. And it kind of makes me think about, hey, I snack on junk food at night, so let's stop doing that. But if you stop doing that and not replace it with something as attractive or tasty or whatever, but just more healthy, then you're going to go, oh, wow, I'm starving. I normally have something in my mouth. Let me go grab something that is not healthy. So remove and replace, boy, that just goes hand in hand.
Absolutely. It's the sacred grail. And that's why so many people go to seminars. They read books, tapes, they do all these things, and it's not happening because it's like a warm bath. It doesn't last. Unless you remove the old and replace it right away, then you're going back to your old ways and same old, same old. They say that the law of insanity is doing the same thing and expecting different results. Not going to happen.
Right. So when you're talking about clarity, I really love that because I literally my latest book that I put out on Amazon is called Brevity plus Clarity equals Authority. So you need to be clear. You need to be brief about it because people don't have time to waste. What are some of your thoughts or tips on how to get clear on where you want to go?
Questions are the answer. Yep. This is an interesting, I like to reveal this. It's on my library right beside my phone. It's a book that I've had for 20 years. It says, questions are the answer. And Mike, I never read the book. Never. But you know what? That title has inspired me more than anything else because whenever you are faced with any challenges, the questions you ask yourself will determine the answers that you will get. A simple example. Why is this always happening to me? Why don't I get more clients? If you ask these questions, you will get the answers to those and you're not going to like them. But if you say, how can I get more efficient? How can I become the authority that the market needs in order for people to look up at me, and then I can have fun in the journey? Once you start asking questions like that, the answers are coming to empower you, getting in the direction that you want, rather than enslave you into a downward spiral of being totally depressed.
So I've got a question for you then. You've got a book you've had for 20 years next to your on a table that has inspired you. How in the world have you not read it?
It was boring when I read it.
But you like the title, yeah.
And the thing is, this is paramount. The feelings that we have towards something are the accelerators of the results we can get with it.
Yeah.
The feeling that I had with this book was one of being empowered, and it opened my mind to possibilities. Yes, this is an answer. And then when I start to read it, it was going left field. But that's not where I was going. It says, no, I do the information that I have from here. So therefore, I concentrate on this, and I'm telling you, all my clients, we use this, and it's such a powerful tool to get unstuck and put you in the right direction. It's amazing.
Well, and I know your work with Tony Robbins, you can draw from what I'm about to say, because when you said feelings, it made me think of his teachings on emotionally charged, affirmations. So you can say, I want to be a success, but do you really believe that yourself? You've got to have emotionally charged, goals and affirmations. So speak a little bit about that feelings and emotionally charged that helps you get past some of those sticking points that we're all going to hit.
Absolutely. Comes back once again, interestingly enough, to clarity. How clear are you on what you want? And then I have, every morning, I start with my gratitude journal. I write 10 things I'm grateful for. And then I send love to people that might irritate me. Although, interestingly enough, the more I do this, the less and less people irritate me, which is a win-win. And so the clarity is paramount on making sure that when you're clear, you know where you're going. When you start to slip down, there's this little card called a goal card that I carry with me all the time. And on that goal card is a summary of my goal. Whenever life comes to you and outside circumstances try to derail you from where you want to go, you have two choices. You either go with that, or you take out your goal card, you look at it, and you read it out loud with feelings, and right away, Mike, you're right back into the peak level of the excitement, the motivation, and the things that needed to drive you to make the actions that you know are needed. And the more you do that, it sounds so simple. And it is, but the more you do that, the better the muscle you develop at it. And whenever you derail, right away you get back into it. So you lose less energy on the things that are of lesser value. In the end, what it does is that you work less and you earn more. And you have more money, you spend time with your family and going into nice places. Why? Because you're so focused on where you're going. So every time that you take that axe against a tree, the edge of that axe is so sharp that every shot you give is one that is very, is it efficacious? I'm French. Efficace. Efficiency or efficient every time that you hit with that axe. Make sense?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, because it's kind of like the axe, and if you, what's the old saying that George Washington said? If I had, or Abe Lincoln, I don't know, if I had 6 hours to cut down a tree, I'd take the first 5 sharpening the axe. Well, that's becoming
Absolutely.
Clear and efficient.
Absolutely, it is. And having things written down, like I said, that goal card and writing down your goals every day, it sort of programs you. We are environmentally or from heredity, that's who we are right now. So the heredity, that's why you look like your mom, your dad, your uncle, or because that's heredity. We have that's what it is. But then our environment is also what molds us. That's why a lot of people that have been raised when they were young says, everybody that's rich is a crook, or you got to work really hard to make just a penny. And so all these things are ingrained with, remember that word, feelings? And so they drain us and they direct everything that we do. As we get older and we says, well, this is nonsense. Now we have to fight and change these things, coming back to the cure. We have to remove and replace it by something that's going to be enabling to give you more power to go in the direction that you want. The more you do this, the easier it gets. And it has repercussions on all aspects of your life, your relationship with your kids, neighbors, co-workers, employees. And it has fantastic evidence of changing lives of people because you show up at a better level. Showing up at a better level makes it you're going to produce in a better way.
I love it, and it's always just these, like Darren Hardy writes in his book Compound Effect, it's these incremental changes that you make small and consistently. Doesn't need to be 100% change or 200% change. It just needs to be incremental change done over time, and then you see over a short period of time, you're looking back, wow, I made a massive improvement because I made these small incremental changes. So I really love your perspective, Francois, and I just really appreciate you coming on, and want to just wrap up with any final thoughts you would give our listeners, and then what's the best way people can reach out and learn more from you.
Well, thank you also for this time to speak here with you. It's a pleasure indeed. One of the best ways that I can say is you can do it. If you ever felt inside of you that you were destined to do more than you're doing right now, this is not happening by chance. It is in you because you can make it happen. All you need to have is help someone to dust off the old things that has been buried because of insecurities or doubts, or because they told you need to get that job or you need to do this for the rest of your life. If you have it inside of you that there's more to life than what you're demonstrating right now, you need to reach out and find out through me or to someone else. If you want to reach through me, howtobecomemore.com. Howtobecomemore.com. You can schedule a call with me. And in this call, we're going to actually find out how clear you are about what it is that you want. And we're going to uncover some hidden challenges that you have. And I'm going to give you some solutions. You either implement them on your own or you fast track with me. Either way, that time is yours and that information is yours forever. We are the results of the actions that we take. But those actions come from our mindset. So let's take care of our mindset so we can get the results that we want.
Yes, I love it. That is so awesome. And I'll make sure that in our show notes, we have a link right to your website, howtobecomemore.com. And I really want to thank you for coming on the show today, Francois. It's been a real pleasure to talk with you.
Mike, it's a pleasure to talk with you. Thank you so much for the difference that you're making, and demonstrating and being an authority in whatever you do is what makes the difference. Thank you for leading by example.
Excellent. Thank you so much.
You've been listening to Influential Entrepreneurs with Mike Saunders. To learn more about the resources mentioned on today's show or listen to past episodes, visit www.influentialentrepreneurssradio.com.